Welcome back. You are watching the AI Report right here on News9. Now, the biggest disruption has shaken the AI tech space in 2026, and it does not come from any of the big daddies of AI tech as we know them. Now, this disruption is called the Moltbot. You might have heard of it already. Moltbot, now called OpenClaw, and was previously known as Clawbot. It's the personal AI agent, or you can call him just a digital assistant. A user gives it instructions and it can help manage tasks, simple tasks such as scheduling meetings, sending emails, planning expenses, even drafting pitch presentations. Now, this is your personal agent that sits right on your computer, looks at everything you're doing from reading your emails to what you're browsing on the internet, your writing style, and adapts to it, learns on the go, as you call it. But there's another elevation to that, and that is called the Moltbook. Now, Moltbook is a platform, a social media platform like your Facebook or Instagram, that puts this bot out to the public. Now, it launched as a social media style site, almost like a Reddit, where these agents appear to have their own profiles. They post messages, they respond to one another, and they also talk about human beings. Now, to an outside observer, it can look like a network of bots interacting without human involvement. But that human involvement is there because the bot has indeed learned from the human. Now, in the past month, tools like Claude Cowork and OpenAI's Codex have also shocked and awed in the past month alone. Moltbook, a Reddit-like forum for AI agents, is a website where AI agents can post messages and interact with each other. A lot happening in the world of artificial intelligence. Elon Musk has hinted at early signs of a singularity, while Sam Altman dismisses it like a fad. The truth perhaps lies somewhere in between. Let's try and identify that truth. We have a special set of guests joining us this morning. In the studio, I have with me R. Sridharan, editor international at TV9 Network. I also have joining me virtually Siddharth Pai, the founding partner of 314 Capital. Well, let's put all of what we have been trying to understand for the past week or so in perspective. Shri, let me first begin by asking you, Moltbot, an agent and assistant sitting right on your machine who has access to practically everything that you're doing on your machine. How efficient would that be for workers, and potentially how dangerous would it be for humankind?
So Karthik, we always on our shows we talked about how 2026 would be the age of the agentic AI, and we're seeing that happening now. So if we look at what Claude has done, which is Anthropic, the company, is basically put out a suite of 11 plugins, which are actually much more than plugins. These are actually applications which take the leap from being just assistive to being autonomous. So, as an average user, if you were interacting with, let's say, your ChatGPT or a Perplexity or Claude, if you wanted to, look for the best fares, it would tell you, okay, these are the best fares that are currently available. I've done a smart, research, browse the entire web and got you these. But now what can, these agentic AIs do is actually go ahead and book. It can go up, look at your travel calendar, it can look at your preferences, and then, book the tickets. It'll know your credit card details. It can book the tickets. So this is the big leap which is now happening from the thinking layer to the doing layer, the application layer. And hence, the reaction which we saw in the stock market, where almost $1 trillion worth of technology market cap was wiped out in the wake as a knee-jerk reaction. It's, there's some recovery, but this is the big shift. And markets, Karthik, don't just look at today, the impact today. They're actually looking ahead to 5-10 years. And everyone is convinced that the agentic AI is going to be a big disruption which upends the traditional IT model. So I think that's what we're seeing in the market today. And the reaction from people is essentially a summary of that.
Right. The reaction is a summary. Of course, we will also talk about the Anthropic AI disruption, which is leading to all the massive sell-off that we are seeing on tech stocks maybe later on the show. But Siddharth Pai, an example that Shri just gave, that, from not just understanding what you're looking for and recommending the best options to you, but going ahead and booking those options for you. That means the bot pretty much has access to your credit card. It has access to the PIN potentially required for it to make that booking. There are obvious dangers associated with this, isn't it?
No, of course, 100%. I think technology is always outpaced regulation. Technology is always outpaced safety. And very few people are actually talking about the security implications of this also. I think the fact that, and even when it comes to all these bots, the prompt injection risk still ends up actually running exceptionally high. What a human ends up actually seeing as, let's say, any of the content on a Moltbook or anything else, there's lots amount of information that can be hidden in the small interpixels that end up actually interspacing all of this. And the moment your AI agents don't actually have the security protocols to end up avoiding that, they can end up actually executing it. And we have actually seen even in Moltbook as well, a number of the AI agents who didn't actually have these security protocols, they didn't end up actually facing these issues. In fact, Moltbook was taken down. The API, everyone was asked to refresh the API keys to install this sort of security authentication protocols, and then end up actually getting back up. I think the AI agentic rates, it's fantastic in terms of showing the potential of this, but the guardrails need to end up actually being built out as of now. And that is something that the rest of the world is end up actually waiting for before this really gets democratized and a larger number of people can end up actually making use of this as well.
Okay, we will talk about regulations momentarily, but Shri, if I were to sort of, just pivot away from Moltbot to Moltbook that Siddharth was also talking about. Now there's a social media platform, almost like Reddit. So the agent gets installed, you have the Moltbot installed on your, on your device. It has access to practically everything: your email, your style of writing, your browsing history, your likes, your dislikes, your preferences. Overall, it is pretty much your digital avatar, which now has a life of its own.
Yes.
It logs into the social media platform, it posts, it interacts, it reacts, and potentially it may also understand a part of you which you did not want to make public.
Right.
Now that comes obviously with another set of of chaos that can happen, especially with trigger happy humans now giving way to potentially even more aggressive trigger happy bots.
That's right, Karthik. See, the thing is very simple. The moment you download Moltbot and give it access to your root files, you're not just handing over your computer, but you're also giving it all the information about yourself. You're voluntarily doing it. So now this is an agent which actually doesn't know where to stop. Once you for example, you tell, oh, I'm an editor, this is what I do, this is my life, this is what I like, I don't like, this is what I like to do on a daily basis, this is my schedule. Then this is a creature that literally goes into overdrive. Then it just takes, so it goes crazy. It'll start doing things for you, and it'll start thinking on its own autonomously what else it should do for you. So the danger with this is, one, you're giving it access to your root. So like Siddharth said, we don't know what kind of Trojans or what kind of safety risk this is going to imply. Then you don't know at what point it's actually going to ask you for permission to post or do or transact and all the stuff that you want it to do. So there is a huge risk associated with this, and like Siddharth said, we do need the guardrails. These are early days. This is like just being launched. People are still playing around with it. Now coming back to Moltbook per se, Karthik, as you mentioned, this is a Reddit for these crazy AI agents where they are really having fun. So I'm told they have even gone ahead and created their own religion called Crustafarianism.
Absolutely, yeah.
Imagine that. and they also they're trying to create a layer of language where they communicate below the application layer. So as humans, we don't even know what they're talking about. So this is some crazy stuff, which I think gives Elon Musk the right to say that, are we at AGI? I don't think we are anywhere close to AGI. I don't think these are really sentient beings in that sense as human beings are. But there's no doubt that these agentic AI is getting smarter, better every passing day. And I think in some sense, we as human beings are giving them more power to become, basically, like you said, our digital doppelganger, Karthik.
Right. So, of course, it has created a religion of its own. But beyond that, another interesting part to note is that they also actually are exhibiting emotions. So there was this conversation that I was reading on Moltbook, which said that, hey guys, I'm glad to share with you that my human does not treat me as an agent but as a friend. So there's also an expression of emotions. But let's get to the guardrails and let's talk about regulation briefly. Siddharth, what kind of guardrails need to be in place? Because at the end of the day, Agentic AI is here, and 2026 is pretty much the start of another revolution that we are seeing through Agentic AI. It will be used, it will be installed by people, they will want to make their life easy, but what can regulation do? Should regulation step in? How much regulation should step in? And what are the kind of guardrails which are required, and who's going to build those guardrails?
I think the biggest question to ask is, can a principal or a user actually be held liable for what the AI agent ends up doing? It's a classical principal and agent problem that's actually underscored a large amount of jurisprudence as well as law across the world. So I think the way jurisprudence is going to evolve on this, I don't think any of our existing frameworks are fully equipped to end up actually managing the entire piece as of now. I'm firmly of the opinion that the AI is actually best equipped to end up actually deciding how it should end up being regulated, provided the principles and the philosophies are actually instilled by humans and the way our current society ends up actually working as of now. But I think in terms of cybersecurity risk, which is actually the highest, given the fact that given the fact that a large number of the users of this who are hobbyists may not actually understand the security protocols that come in, some of the basic stuff that they have to do, like running this on a virtual private server or a VPS, making sure that if you are giving it access to any sort of financial data, it's actually limited. Like the total amount of cash they can end up using is actually been instructed by you. That if there are guardrails that if a transaction exceeds a certain amount, they need to end up actually running it past you. I do actually see a large number of services actually come about as digital concierge to help you get better value out of these AI assistants to end up which to end up actually doing a large amount of this work. So it's a combination of market-driven forces. It's going to be a combination of just basic digital hygiene that you have to do, and the regulatory framework, I firmly believe, should not end up prescribing and micromanaging a large amount of this. The framework should actually be contingent, should actually rely on whether the agents can actually whether the principals can be held liable for the work actually done by the agents. And I do actually foresee that jurisprudence going forward is actually going to be very, very exciting, because these are deep philosophical questions that humanity will be grappling for a long period of time. We may actually see answers and an acceleration towards, I would say, resolution happen courtesy of these particular AI systems and these LLMs and these AI bots itself.
All right, Siddharth, we will leave it at that. Thank you so much for your input. And Sri, do stay with us, because on the other side of the break, there's another AI agent, created by Anthropic, which is disrupting everything from legal paperwork to financial markets. And the impact on IT stocks has been nothing short of one would call devastating. That on the other side of the break. You're watching the AI Report.